Good afternoon. This is a time generally we all feel a little sleepy. And thanks to Major and his emotional shooting. He started shooting first with AK-47, then with the camera, now with words. And definitely after an emotional talk of him, I don't know how sensible others can talk and catch your mind. But anyway, in the morning only I just came to know that what am I supposed to talk. And Ravi just showed me the paper saying that, okay, you have to talk about how Bollywood can save India. Impossible. It can never. So then I didn't know, I'm very sure that it's not possible to make a long conversation on that. Anyway, then I found out 10 minutes I can talk a little bit about it. More than talking, I would like to ask few questions to myself which I may find answer from you. That's what my angle is all about. Still, I would like to put few things which is in my mind. I would like to say the Indian film industry is having a huge boost for the last 3-4 years. And the largeness has gone to the level of 100 crore clubs and 200 crore clubs. That's what the media call it by the collections and promotions of these movies. But this hugeness is not a healthy one. What's going on is a tumor of deterioration. By westernizing the Indian culture and art with globes and glamour to achieve a mass appeal in a cheap manner. I should say that. I'm sorry for certain people sitting here. I know some of you will agree, some of you will not. See, this tendency actually is, I actually contribute a lot to the media, who, especially the entertainment media, who are actually promoting it because they really want to sell gloss and gossips. In the first place, I want to ask, the start itself is wrong. Why is it Bollywood? Because some journalist wrote long time back, he just wanted to call it Bollywood because English films are made in Hollywood. It's a hilltop, the name of the place is Hollywood. Why it is Bollywood? The first monkeys went and the other monkeys went behind. And finally, it came to the Oxford Dictionary. It's quite appreciable. I really don't know many of these media people, how they succeed to find their own words and make it convincing. Like, I've read quite a lot in Kerala, they call it mafia. Mafia, it is liquor mafia, it is blade mafia, it is bang mafia, a lot of mafias are there. What is it, mafia? It means my family. It's an Italian word, Cosa Nostra. And why they call it liquor mafia? Because any crime, now it looks like mafia is an alternate word for crime. They have changed the meaning in India. And they have succeeded. I don't know how soon it will come in the Oxford Dictionary. But this is the way. Now, when we, at one moment, we started realizing that many of our cities and towns have to change their name because it's all by the wrong pronunciations of the Britishers, the name became like that. So I would like to ask, if Bombay can become Mumbai, Madras can become Chennai, Calcutta can become Kolkata, why can't Bollywood also change the name? That should be the beginning, I think. Because what is the identity of the Indian cinema in the international scenario? It is, we have an identity of our own. That is, though it's called Bollywood, now okay, for the time being we'll call it like that. It is a derivation, the basic thing has come from our folklores, our plays, our mythological art expressions, which always had an important part for music. It was always conveyed to the people and entertained the people by music and words mixed together. The same technique has been followed by our earlier filmmakers to and which gave a proper definition to the Indian cinema and its style. So we should not be ashamed at all to say that why our films have songs. That's another way. This is our identity. Because, see, films in India started in 1917 with the film Langa Dahal. It's about Ramayana. In the silent era, and later Dada Phalke brought it Harishchandra. That is in 1932. See, 13, huh? Oh, I'm sorry, there's a little confusion on that. These Google people also confuses you sometimes. Okay, so it made a trend of entertainment with our Puranas, which conveyed strong feelings of ethics, logic, reasoning, philosophy, and clear-cut vision of social awareness in the mind of the people, and in an entertaining way. After it reformed into social and historic themes, but kept the value always. It always sent a message. It always talked a message. At the end of the film, we could tell the audience, those filmmakers always told the audience something good, something sensible, something for them to think. Of course, today it's easy with an SMS. We don't need to convey a message by making a movie. But at the same time, the basic culture we have forgotten in our art media, because we are highly getting westernized. This westernization has to be stopped because see, if you take it, it is 336 warring countries, and Britishers called it United it, and then we called it India. Before that, there was India, but it was not the India which we have seen today. Then, after they left, we have forgotten something. So much of influence of them has been here in our art form, and we could never take it forward. In year by year, we are getting more and more influenced by their method. Why should our films? Why can't we make films based on Ramayana? And recently, for example, I was asking my daughter to read Mahabharata. She read it and said, "Come on, it's more interesting than Harry Potter." Yes, it is, but they are not realizing, because we are not telling them, this generation, that okay, there is much more richer literature and richer thoughts in our country than what you are seeing every day on Lord of the Rings or Harry Potter or Clash of the Titans. So we have to make them aware. The biggest problem I am seeing in the new generation of filmmakers today is, first thing, they are not aware of the culture. Second thing, they are not aware of the Indian literature. The third problem is they are only watching cinema and trying to make the cinema the same way as Westerners do. So there is no identity. The major problem again we are facing is, okay, we call it, why are we together? After the Britishers went, it was 366 warring states. Will it again become the same way as Telangana is becoming one and Uttarakhand has become one? Are we going back and dividing our country again back to those warring states? I don't know. That's where the Muslim attacks and British encroachment happen here. We are giving them the chance again. We have to stand united, because we call it always, we have something called unity in diversity. That's our strength. The unity in diversity is our strength. We should not miss it, whether it is in art forms or whether it is in any other forms. So, when you coming back to, so basically I say here also, for that, to achieve that, we need a revolution in cinema. I can only talk about cinema. Anything can be told in an interesting way, because yesterday I was listening to Professor Vaidyanathan's speech on economics. That's the least interested subject in my life. I cannot understand, I can't even spell it properly. But when I sat there, I learned a bit, and I found economics very interesting, because the way he has presented it, it was better than one of those most humorous films I have ever seen. I understood perfectly. This is the way to write a script I wanted to ask him, can you write a script for me on economics? Because unbelievable he was. So, entertainment mixed into any serious matter can be conveyed in a much effective way than just putting it as an information. This is a way, if you say we are here on a World Hindu Conference, we have to market Hinduism also. To market Hinduism, we have to take the simplest way, whether it is through cinema, whether it is through media, other media, or through audio visuals, or whichever other means. We have to market it. Market it how? We have to tell them. This is what the value. We had great universities like Nalanda and all in India, and people used to come and learn a lot of things from here till the 18th century, where deterioration started after that. Why can't we bring back? And the only way, and our richest, the strongest strength in our mind and in our culture, in the world we have, is an amazing philosophy called Hinduism. I hope the next generation will definitely understand that first and promote Indian cinema forward through that. Definitely I can say that the world will definitely get a big surprise. That the problem here, I've seen the youngsters, they are going too much into techniques today, not to the content. The content has to be strong, and there is enough material in our country, which they are ignoring because they are not reading. This is one habit I have been telling the young filmmakers, please read. Reading improves your imagination. Reading makes you a better visionary. So, for the revolution, there is educating cinema is the first. Then there are a little bit of this. I'll conclude it with few points. Taxation is another big problem which is facing the film industry today, because these 100 crore clubs and 200 crore clubs and a new generation filmmaker who's trying to attempt something new is taxed the same way, which he cannot afford, where he cannot afford superstars. When superstars are not there, there is no collection. There's no huge collection. How can I do my experiment if I want to try something different? So, definitely the one thing I want to suggest, or I would like any of you who could influence that section of the government to say that please consider, because it's the biggest income of India, because most of the panchayats in India are depending completely on the income of the film entertainment tax and paying their salaries. So don't ignore, it's a huge industry where this taxation has to be considered, at least for the films which is more close to the Indian culture and Indian art. Not, okay, they can divide it as commercial and non-commercial or something, because for the growth of such films, definitely there should be a taxation consideration by the government. Then, please, we should say, allow the filmmakers to have more freedom of expression. There is a huge problem we are facing with the censor board. I have to say that, because they have written rules, but rules are made as rules against creativeness. For example, I was just telling you, come on, you should not do cruelty to animals. I love animals. I was a couple of 2 films before, I remember. I was putting my film on censor. There was a road scene when I'm shooting. There was a bullock cart owner. He's beating his bullock. It so happened it came in the background, and they say cut the scene. What am I supposed to do? Because he was punishing his animal behind. But it's not my mistake, and it is not in focus. It's something happened, which is happening in the road, which is not done by the creative person. He was pushing or tying it to the bullock cart or something like that. That is not. So the rules should not be even. Okay, sometimes we say you abuse it. If you are making a film about Churchill, can you avoid smoking in the film? You can't. They said you have to put smoking in every scene. What size? Bigger than the name of the director. So half the scene is gone. You can't see that. These are not. There are much more effective ways that censor board has to discuss and bring things. For example, using abusive language. Okay, there are parliamentary language, we call it, where people, to that extent, people can abuse it, because the most important thing in a sequence is that when we are shooting a scene, the censor board has to decide whether that scene has an effect with that language or not, or will it do any damage to the listener. This discrete, I mean, there should be this kind of border lines to be drawn perfectly. It should not be drawn. It should be, the creative people should be more there than implementing rules just as it is printed. So it gives little more freedom to the filmmaker. So at the end, I just want to say, like Ravi said, we need more patriotic movies. I have seen patriotism in India, amazing way, only when India plays Pakistan or India plays West Indies or England. There is huge unity. Why can't we have the same unity as Indians? See, if you go to London, you'll see an Englishman. If you go to Paris, you'll see a Frenchman. If you go to America, you'll see an American. And if you come to India, you'll see a Marathi, Gujarati, Malayali, Bengali. Where is the Indian? This is a question I am asking you, because this is something we should, that's what I was talking about, unity and diversity, which should happen in cinema also, in every art form also. This is what I want to tell the youngsters who are trying to become filmmakers in India. Let's do something and think that we are Indians and take the industry forward. We can do a lot, because it's the most powerful media of communication. We can do a lot to save our country to entertainment in a most decent and cultural way. Thank you.